Hi, welcome. In this video again, I'm out here with Maya, focusing in on socialization exercise. Again, increasing expectations. You see in the background here, Polly's out once again as a helper dog. And so here again, it's all about the picture, okay, the right way, in terms of advocating, having Maya as a follower, focusing on taking stress off of her. Even as I'm talking right now, you notice I'm being proactive in terms of, being consistent with how I'm intercepting her thoughts, in terms of how she's expressing, investing. So even here, I'm tapping a little bit, nudging, because I don't want her, again, to fixate. Okay, again, dealing with still in being in process. Okay, still here in terms of the process itself. And so what show training really is really a type of intervention. Okay, once a dog has already gained a certain level of control in the relationship, then the process itself needs to be intentional by way of a, again, interaction-based approach versus bribery. Okay, that's very common in the dog training world, seeking to motivate dogs in a very superficial way. I talk about that a lot in my videos. I encourage you to go watch those as to why I do training the way that I do it, reconciling the role of influence by way of specific interactions that dogs come into agreement with. So here, Maya, again, I'm still using the choke chain, but again, that's how I'm using it. Okay, in a proactive way, I'm nudging. I'm not waiting for her mind to blow up, for her to over-fixate, over-invest. This is being proactive. So here, same thing. I'm turning around opposite, just for, again, a couple of minutes to help to calm her down. Because here, therefore, if whatever's going on in the background, it forces her to have to turn her body around to be able to invest. So even here, understand that dogs will begin to kind of try to make certain adjustments so that they can kind of get a quick look. And so when you're doing this, be very specific. Here, I'm very focused on where I want her to be, okay? Because again, it's all about me always having the advantage, okay? Because understanding what's going on here. It's a type of power play, okay? So same thing, down. I put her into a down, help to relax her a little bit more, okay? Just to take stress off of her. Because again, understand, this is about control and relationship. So even when she's down here, I'm still being active with just nudging the leash a little bit. So understand, there's no rush here, okay? I never have any kind of preconceived idea as to how far down I want to go with the exercise, because it's not about advancing that way, okay? This is all about the focus on how her mind is traveling, okay? So never set things in motion in terms of I need to be at a certain point, because you could get there, okay, based on appearances, and you're not truly advancing the relationship the right way. Okay, this is about advancing, fading in the right way, by way, again, of, being tuned in or dialed into her state of mind. So here, I'm going to bring her up. Sit. So very agreeable, coming up pretty quick, okay? But again, always having a little bit of influence behind it, just like parental influence. So I'm going to start moving here with her. Same thing, I'll move. Still creating a bit of an offset angle as I move, because again, I still want her, again, set it up so she's got to turn her head. Here again, just think of inwardness, fading in. Her head comes in slightly towards me. Same thing, I'll move her forward here. So a little bit of resist, a little bit, the closer I get, the more she kind of locks down a little bit. So again, I'm just moving forward, tapping, taking my time. So here's the same thing. If you notice a little bit more of a lockdown where there's a little bit more challenge, just take your time, stay stationary for a little longer, because again, the more you move, the more it's going to create more of a problem. So sometimes just work stationary until your dog begins to release more control, okay, begins to relax more. So same thing here, move a little, see, it just makes it easy right there, a lot more agreeable, just moving a little bit more intentional. So I slowed it down, taking just smaller steps, okay. I'm not having Polly come out yet. I'm going to here in a minute. So Polly's just like hanging out, waiting for my direction. I'm going to bring, again, Maya over here. I'm going to take a seat again. Down. After going down, Polly come. Polly come. Let Polly come out. Now as Polly comes out, notice what I'm doing here. I'm focused on Maya, okay? I'm not releasing her. I'm still actively engaged in the method. So I have to be kind of on this a little bit, assertive. I don't want any, so she came over, that was great. She went back in for just a minute, which is fine. Because here's the same thing. It's like I'm focused totally on the dog that needs help, okay? So when you have a helper dog, you want that dog to be in a really good way, okay, by way of a follower. So here, again, because you don't want to use two dogs, okay, that got a relationship problem or holding a level of control, because the potential is bad things can happen. Okay, not in this situation at all. Maya is great, okay, and so things are going along as expected, okay. But again, whenever you're using a second dog, you always want to make sure you use a dog that is in a good way, okay. So here, Polly's great that way. So same thing here. I'm just, I want Maya to relax, okay, and this is the great picture. Okay, but I'm now having Polly come out and kind of advance a little bit more, getting in Maya's airspace, okay, but as I'm being proactive with knowing how to nudge and intercept and keep her, as a follower. So when you're doing this exercise, pay attention to body language. You don't want to be caught off guard, because sometimes even if the dog's in a down position, they can suddenly lunge, they can explode very quickly, especially with some breeds. You see pit bulls doing this. That just means you have to be more, sharp. Okay, you got to be really focused. And again, this interaction-based approach, what it does. So even here, you notice her Maya's like sniffing. I'm just tapping her out a little bit because the messaging is, hey, you're here. Just calm down. Just relax. I'm in control. Polly, come. Polly, come on. Polly, come. Polly, come. Come on. Good girl. The nose here. I'm tapping Maya, right, as I'm petting Polly. So you ever notice dogs will get really jealous, right? When you're petting one dog, the other dog has control. They don't like that. It's like two selfish children, right? Vying for the parent's attention. So here, right here, see this? See how I'm tapping a little bit? So I'm saying to the messaging I'm saying to Maya is like, no. I have control here. Both, Polly's out here. I'm giving her a little bit of affection, right? But you're not going to interrupt that. Okay, you're just gonna relax, right? This is like, there's enough to go around, but at the right time. Notice I'm not petting on Maya during this process. Understanding, okay, the context of emotion. Okay, this is about taking stress off of her and advocating the right way. So same thing, they're coming together closer. Notice they're getting closer here. But again, I'm not doing anything here abnormal, okay, so that Maya's going to fail. Okay, understand? I'm doing this even here. Notice I'm gonna intercept that. She's really trying to get kind of turned around here a little bit. There we go. She wants to know what Polly's doing. I'm not letting her look at her that way. Okay, same thing. She's trying to turn over here a little bit. I'm gonna bring her up, turn her back prone here, and then Polly's back in her crate here. Same thing. Tapping a little bit. So here's the thing too. When you do these type of exercises, always want to end on a good note. Good note means that you have a good picture of control. Maya's done really good here, considering, okay, the expectation is just for, again, to end this in the context of not having gained invested that way, so I have to relax more. So you do the same thing. So I want to really work on, making sure that she's starting to relax, which she is. So again, great exercise, but again, you want to work this with not the other helper dog that's, as a follower, okay? You want to make sure that, this is a controlled exercise. When you start doing things like this, you already know nothing bad's going to happen based on what an interaction-based approach reveals, okay? It gives you the right information. You're not going to be blindsided. You already know where you're at. You already know what you can do. So here, Maya's doing absolutely fantastic. Bring her up. Doing really good. And again, the focus here, I understand, it's always on, I'm moving her forward here, it's always on, again, the process in terms of how this carries over to the dog owners, okay? So again, when, we're already into week 2, I do it for 2 weeks. I don't go further than that at first because understanding the intersect point, knowing that the dog owners, they need to change, right? Because that's where, again, all of this kind of originated. So again, this is very helpful because once you get a dog to, again, to a certain level, to release that level of control, it's just a matter of, mirroring it up, transferring it over, but with me involved. So again, I'll be in their home environment pretty quickly to make sure things, transition as expected. But again, Maya's doing great. I mean, beautiful dog. This is just a relationship issue, totally fixable. This is just about being consistent, the right messaging, the right